Welcome to Mission Control. I am your flight director for today's explainer, and we are initiating a full-scale launch simulation for the Cambridge AS and A-Level Arabic 9680 syllabus. Whether you are calibrating your trajectory for IGCSE, O-Levels, AS, or A-Levels, the physics of a high-scoring exam response remain exactly the same. We are looking at the central console right now, monitoring the telemetry, and I can tell you that we constantly see candidates losing basic, foundational marks across the broad topic areas. I'm talking about human relationships, daily life, media, health, work, sport, travel, education, culture, war, and the environment. You name it, students are dropping payload points. Today, we treat this syllabus like a critical flight launch protocol with zero margin for error. We are going to unpack exactly what the examiners are tracking on their radar and how you can avoid the atmospheric traps that burn up your overall grade. All right, let's lock onto this target orbit profile directly from the principal examiner report. It says that candidates referencing cross-topic connections achieve significantly higher marks. What you need to understand is that the secret to maxing out your propulsion meter isn't just dumping raw fuel. It's not just knowing isolated Arabic vocabulary or raw facts. It is all about structural integration. If your stimulus text is heavily focused on media, a low-altitude descriptive trajectory just hovers there, talking about television or the internet. But a high-propulsion evaluative launch pathway that connects how media directly impacts culture or alters human relationships, you have to build those conceptual bridges across the syllabus to achieve escape velocity. Which brings us to a massive system malfunction we see all the time on the radar. Why do students find the distinction between key terminology so hard? When you are dealing with such a wide array of topics, semantic fields inevitably overlap. We see candidates under immense simulation clock pressure confusing basic Arabic terms related to work with those related to daily life. But the absolute critical failure? It's missing the structural boundary coordinates entirely. It's failing to differentiate the command words. Treating a prompt that explicitly demands you to evaluate as if it merely says discuss will trigger an immediate system failure alert on your examiner's dashboard. Today, we are locking in those coordinates and demystifying exactly how to calibrate your terminology to the precise demand of the question. Here is our sequence checklist for today's mission. We will calibrate our core theoretical principles, activate the method mark strategy, deploy the procedural framework, scan for critical examiner alerts, and finally, lock in on mastering evaluative thinking. Let's initiate the first stage. Section 1. Core Theoretical Principles. This is the absolute foundation of top marks. To understand the exact parameters Cambridge examiners are demanding, we have to isolate the three distinct cognitive domains on the assessment framework. These are your three booster stages: knowledge and understanding, analysis, and evaluation. Knowledge is your baseline raw fuel, your Arabic vocabulary, your grammatical structures, and your factual recall. But listen, if you burn all your energy just dumping facts, you are going to get stuck in the middle-tier atmosphere. You won't break orbit. Analysis is your secondary booster, where you actually align the thrusters to show how these facts connect and establish causal relationships. But to truly reach the summit, you must ignite the third stage: evaluation. Relying on precise definitions is fine, but judging their impact, weighing their significance, and proving why they matter is what actually forces your propulsion meter into the maximum A-star reading. Moving on to stage 2 of our flight path, the method mark strategy, where we prioritize the process over the product. Now, I am looking at the pure telemetry coordination right now, and we have a classic scenario unfolding between two of our simulation pilots. Pilot 1, Alex, is desperately trying to overload the writing blocks with textbook definition streams. Alex is burning through raw fuel, writing down every Arabic term they know, but running totally out of time. Meanwhile, Pilot 2, Sam, is steering the layout incredibly fast, establishing a direct analytical logic string to secure the high-tier bands, but Sam is ignoring the command word constraints. This is where the method mark strategy comes in as your ultimate stabilizer. It is an assessment approach where examiners award points for the process of logical, structured reasoning. Examiners actually reward your structural layout just as much as your final conclusion. Even if your ultimate thesis about how war impacts the environment isn't the most groundbreaking discovery in human history, you can still secure top-band marks if your procedural reasoning is flawless. You must document your flight path step by step, showing the examiner your exact navigation logic. Activating Stage 3, the procedural framework, your step-by-step execution protocol. All right, team, here is how you actually execute this strategy in the high-pressure environment of the exam room. This standardized 5-step sequence is your tactical launch plan. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. What is the exact command word? Is it evaluate, analyze, or compare? Step 2. Extract relevant data from the Arabic stimulus. Pull the exact quotes, data points, or trends from the text. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. How are you going to structure this paragraph to prove your point? Step 4. Execute notation and verify results. This means linking your extracted data directly back to the question's core theme, without drifting off course. And finally, Step 5. Present it all with correct, context-specific Arabic terminology. Do not let your vocabulary become generic. If you follow this exact sequential checklist, you ensure your evidence-based conclusions are structurally unshakable. Transitioning to Stage 4. Critical examiner alerts. These are the catastrophic pitfalls you absolutely must avoid. Scanning the historic flight logs straight from the principal examiner reports, our radar is picking up exactly 3 major system failures that consistently sabotage candidate scores year after year. Launch trajectory hold. Listen to me carefully. Before we deploy this top-band paragraph structure to clear orbit, we need to optimize your educational flight deck. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams at the handle @AceTheExams and enable all notifications so you never miss our weekly flight-tested exam hacks. Whether you are launching an IGCSE, O-Levels, AS, or A-Levels, you need this telemetry. Okay, system lock released. Let's get back to the mission. Here are the top 3 warnings flashing right on the console. First, confusing cause and effect. Did a sudden shift in daily life cause new media trends, or did the media fundamentally alter daily life? If you mix up that causality, your logic engine stalls. Second, forgetting to check format and presentation. If the Arabic stimulus demands an article format and you submit a formal letter, your structural framework instantly collapses, and you lose crucial compliance marks. And third, the absolute most critical threat, providing generic answers not specific to context. You cannot copy-paste a pre-memorized textbook essay on health into the exam. If the crew encounters a mid-paragraph structural data loss where evidence drops, you stabilize it by deploying a strict Peel framework. Point, evidence, explanation, link, ensuring every single sentence is explicitly anchored to the exact scenario provided in the stimulus text. I am now handing control over to the audience for a live radar check challenge. Welcome to the visual radar sweep. Take a look at this comparison. On one side, we have a flawed, medium-tier descriptive trajectory. On the other, a high-yield, evaluative contextual response. Can you identify the logic malfunction in the generic answer? The descriptive response just lists basic Arabic facts about tourism and travel. It burns fuel but goes nowhere. It just says, tourism makes money. But the evaluative response? It perfectly targets the coordinates. It explicitly links the economic benefits of travel directly to the preservation of local Arabic heritage sites and culture. It doesn't just state what is happening. It actively justifies the how and the why based on the text. That is the massive difference between reciting a standard definition and engineering a perfectly balanced, high-scoring block of analytical text. Entering our final stage. Section 5. Mastering Evaluative Thinking. Reaching the summit of the grading criteria. This timeline represents the perfect final ascent profile for a top-scoring candidate. This is how you navigate the payload from the launch pad to a fully justified orbit. At the start of your answer, do not just blindly accept the prompt's premise. You must start by questioning assumptions. If a text makes a bold claim that education is the sole driver of cultural progress, challenge that absolute parameter immediately. Mid-answer, your navigation needs to consider different perspectives. Bring in variables. Show how work environments or health outcomes also shift that dynamic. And finally, your conclusion. A massive error here is just summarizing what you already said. No, your conclusion is where you fire the secondary boosters by actively justifying your final decisions with the hard evidence you extracted during Step 2. Keep your eyes locked on this academic benchmark from the syllabus framework. Higher-order assessment objectives demand evaluation of alternatives, comparison of approaches, and justified recommendations. This is the ultimate standard for reaching the A-Star summit. You are not a data recorder. You are a flight director. You weigh the data, you compare the alternatives, and you command the final justified recommendation. To ensure your system is fully calibrated for the real thing, you have to run these simulations yourself. Make sure you subscribe to Ace the Exams and relentlessly apply this procedural framework to actual past papers. Decoding the command words, managing your fuel budget allocation, and checking your contacts under strict simulated clock pressure is the only way to guarantee a successful full-mark launch sequence. We are concluding the mission with a final system review checklist. Ask yourself right now, is your next Arabic paper going to be a low-altitude descriptive drop, or are you fully prepped to evaluate, connect those cross-topic themes, and justify your trajectory? Remember the 3 universal rules we covered today: the 3-step question scan for decoding, the precise fuel budget allocation for timing, and the structural verification checklist. Push yourself to build those high-tier evaluative links in your very next practice session. If you found this simulation critical to your mission success, click that notification bell for our weekly grade masterclasses and drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, whether it is IGCSE, O, AS, or A level, you are preparing to conquer next. Mission accomplished. See you on the next launch.